The most decorated Olympian athlete of all time is the American Michael Phelps. He has won 23 gold medals, 3 silver and 2 bronze. The world watched with much excitement as Michael swam to victory after victory. But what we perhaps do not know about Michael Phelps is that when he was a boy beginning to learn to swim, he was terrified of the water. He was scared to put his face into the water because the water seemed so deep. So his instructors wisely allowed him to begin on his back, and the first swimming stroke he learned was the backstroke. But when Michael overcame his fear of putting his head into that deep, frightening water, then he knew no bounds. Much later he said, "You can't put a limit on anything. The more you dream, the farther you will get." According to a 1998 Gallup poll, 68% of American adults have a fear of deep water. I am one of them. I'm a good swimmer, but when I realize how deep the water is, it terrifies me. The one and only time in my life I went on a beautiful cruise, as soon as I began to reflect on how deep the water was under that boat, I began to panic. Most of us are afraid of deep water. Most of us would much rather stay in the shallow water close to the shore. It's the same in life. I would venture to say that more than 68% of us are terrified of the deep waters of life. We would much rather stay in our comfort zone, in the shallow waters near the shore, the things we are used to, the things we know. Those waters may be shallow, but at least in our mind they are safe and comfortable. We don't like to venture out into new waters, into deep waters. Yet Jesus gives just that call. Duc in altum, as the old Latin version used to say, go into the depths. Jesus calls us to the deep water. Most of us are like Peter, a little reluctant to go out into that deep water. We would much rather stay near the shore, be safe and be comfortable where we can see the bottom. But if we, like Peter, heed the call of the Christ and dare to go out into new waters, into deeper waters, we just might be surprised at the riches we find in the depths of that water. Some of you here are married. You dared to take the plunge into that deep water, which must have been very frightening at first. But once you got into the depths of that water, I hope you were able to discover the depths of love you can only find there. Oh, you can stay close to the shore, you can stay in the safe and comfortable zone, but how much more shallow is everything there? Duc in altum, go into the depths. I am sometimes afraid of change. I don't like to explore new waters, really. I'm much more comfortable with things I'm used to, much more comfortable in sight of the shore, much more comfortable in the shallow waters where my feet can touch the ground. It is a terrifying thing to plunge into the deep. Oh, but how wonderful it is to discover the riches of the depths. Jesus also uses the experience of the fisherman to issue another call, a call to catch no longer fish, but to catch people. This has been seen as a call to become followers of Christ, and it has been seen as a call to become priests. Perhaps here too, we have been reluctant to move out of the shallow waters, the waters we are used to. It's not working anymore. We're not making much of a catch, just like Peter was no longer making a catch. Perhaps the Christ is calling us once again Go out into new waters. There are other ways. Let's not be afraid, and we just may discover a very rich harvest there in the deep. Let us not put limits on ourselves, and let us not put limits on God. Duc in altum. Go into the depths. This is what the mystics and saints have always found. It is comfortable to stay in the shallows, but how much richer is our life when we risk going into deeper, newer waters. One mystic, the great Sufi poet Rumi, has written, "You were born with potential. You were born with goodness and trust. You were born with ideals and dreams. You were born with greatness. You were born with wings. You are not made for crawling, so don't. You have wings. Use them and learn to fly." Like all mystics, Rumi is calling us to soar to new heights. But before we can soar to the heights, we must be able to fathom the depths. Fathom the depths of our own soul. Fathom the depths of the secrets of the universe. Fathom the depths of the heart of God. It is there that we will discover, with the mystics, with the saints, the great, inexhaustible depths of divine love.